Well, there we go. There's another buffalo kill with the fourth Birmingham. So there we go. All 4 Birmingham boys. We've had them on camera this morning, which I don't know when the last time that happened. Obviously, we can't ID who's who at this stage. You can see he's hot and bothered, but he's protecting his kill. There was actually a side-striped jackal that tried to run in there, and he came charging out and chased the jackal away. I don't know where the jackal's run now, but there is a side-striped jackal hanging around. So this must be the original kill from the Nkuhumas. I can see the tracks from lions chasing the buffalo in this area. So I think they originally killed this, and the Birminghams then came in and pushed the Nkuhumas off, and that's why we've seen a situation where the Nkuhumas maybe went after another one, or the Birmingham himself followed the rest of the buffalo and brought down that other one that we see closer towards the camp. But isn't this exciting to have all of the Birmingham boys around? Hopefully these 3 are going to actually come out at some point, and we're going to be able to see them nicely and see all 3 of them this side as well as Nsuku on the other side. So it would be really nice to have all 4 around. But that buffalo is almost finished in comparison to what we see from the buffalo around quarantine. There's still so much there, and I would imagine once these guys are finished tonight, they're going to move their way to the one on quarantine. And wouldn't it be great if we could have all 4 Birminghams together on a buffalo kill on quarantine? That would be a first for many, many moons. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I saw all 4 of the Birminghams together. It's been a very long time since we've seen that. And you can see how he's dragging it deeper into the shade at the moment. So he's trying to get it under some trees, and they do this to try and avoid getting vultures around here, which attracts unwanted attention. So that's why they like to drag things into these thickets. Difficult to make out who it is at the moment. I don't know if you guys at home can see a little bit better and you can work out who he is. It's difficult, like I say. We know that Mfumo was the one that went down to drink, so hopefully he's going to come back. And then it's either Tinyo or Nsuku that's here. I can't see nicely though as he's dragging. There's a lot of glare on the screen at the moment. Maritza, you say, is this Djuma or Mara? And you say lol at the end. Well, I know, it's crazy, isn't it, that we've all of a sudden got lions coming out of our ears. From no lions to lions everywhere. It's incredible that we get to see them. Are you going to come down towards us? So that looks like, who have we got there? Is it maybe Mfumo? You see how he's covering the blood trail there? So they do this just to stop it being smelling and things like hyenas coming into this area. Come on, come a little bit closer so I can see who you are properly. He looks like he's coming towards us. I don't know, Alice, maybe somebody might have ID'd him. I'm battling to see in this light. It's really very harsh on the camera screen, on the monitor that I've got. I'm going to try look through my binoculars and just see who exactly we've got here. Is he lying down now, or is he moving? He's right behind a bush, so it's very difficult. No, don't lie down there. Come out a little bit. Looks like he might just sniff around. I wonder if he's picking up the scent of the lionesses in that area. But at least he's come out a little bit for us so we can actually get a nice view. There we go. Now he's looking at us. He's right over the stomach content of that buffalo. Now that I look through the binoculars, I can see all the stomach content that he's sniffing around. You see he's going to cover that up, try and scrape some sand. He's not doing it very well. It's a bit half-hearted at this stage. Come on, come out for us. That's better. Now you're getting proper dust on it. Come this way. Come on. And he's now urinating over the buffalo. Stomach content, as if it's not bad enough to eat them. Now you've got to urinate over their scent as well, just to make sure that everybody knows that this is their buffalo. Adele, you think it's Tinyo? I might agree with you, Adele. It's difficult. I can't see his face nicely. You can see now he's just presenting his backside. And look at how round his tummy is in comparison to those females. That's why I was saying that when males eat, or when lions eat buffalo, they generally get massive round tummies. So his tummy is very big. But I'm just waiting for him to look in my direction one more time, because I keep missing him with the binoculars. No, he's going to move off the wrong way now. Still busy trying to cover the scent of what's going on. But how amazing is this? 4 different male lions in a drive. So cool to see. And on 2 buffalo kills. It just goes to show you, as soon as buffalo arrive in this area, these guys are on top of it very quickly. Now, let's quickly jump across to Byron, who's got himself a bird, and to keep up his birdless before they disappear. Byron, you are another story, you know that. You do make me laugh, though, so we'll give it to you. But we have tried to reposition slightly here, but this is the best view that we can get, unfortunately, from where we're sitting, and the other 2 are lying, sleeping, so we're not going to be able to see too much other than where we are now. It does look like Tinyo, though. It looks like he's got that half canine on the bottom jaw and that lip that slightly curls in. So it's difficult to say from, like I say, from where I'm sitting, but it could be him. Although, now that I look at it, is that not Nena that we're seeing there? All of you at home, screenshots, and you'll be able to then ID him, hopefully. Where I'm sitting now, there's so much bush in front of him with binoculars, and the screen itself is so glary, it's difficult to make a positive ID. So I'm going to leave it up to all of you. He looks a bit Nena-like. He doesn't have as much scarring as Tinyo, so I'm not 100% sure. Either way, he's on sentry duty at the moment, so he's having to look after the carcass. He's lying right up next to it, and you can see he's breathing quite heavy already. He's going to be a hot boy later. Once the sun gets right up and he starts having to digest, he is going to be a very warm lad. But he'll stay close to the carcass to protect it from those jackals that were running around, and also from any vultures that decide to come down and try and wrestle for this carcass. You're going to find a lot of vultures in this area between the 2 buffalo carcasses. They're going to come descending down. We know the one on quarantine, that buffalo carcass is quite out in the open, so that's going to be seen fairly quickly. But so Nsuku's going to have his work cut out trying to keep those at bay. This side, at least they've covered it up and kind of moved it into a thicket, but there will be vultures that will find them. When they see 3 big male lions with big fat full bellies, they're going to know something is up. There we go. So a lot of you are saying it is Nena's. I thought so. Now that that we were looking at him, it doesn't have enough scarring as Tinyo. So Nena and Roshni, you say it's not grumpy enough to be Tinyo. Well, that's probably right, Roshni. Tinyo is a grumpy lad, especially when he's around the females and food. He tends to get a little bit on the grumpy side. So he must be lying with Mfumo on the other side. Mfumo was the one we saw very briefly going through the big tall grass and down towards the water. And Mfumo was the first one we saw. Tinyo must have been the first one that we saw when we arrived, who had his head poking out of the grass and then lay down. So that's all 4 of them. We've at least managed to kind of get some sort of identification on them, which is really good. And it's amazing, like I say, to see all 4 is really quite incredible. It's been, for me, probably at least a year and a half since I've seen them all together, which is a really long time. So I'm super glad that we've seen most of them. Of course, I haven't seen the 4th one. You guys have all seen it, but I'm sure during the course of today we will see Nsuku as well. Taylor's going to be over the moon. I know Taylor loves seeing lions, and so she has an absolute lion fiesta to send her off. I think this afternoon is her last drive before she heads off to Kenya, so we'll just have to give her lots of lion sightings and she'll be able to enjoy all of them. And I'm hoping that these Birminghams finish this kill and decide to then head down towards quarantine and we get them all together with the Nkuhuma bride. Isn't that a regal looking lion though? I find Nena one of the prettier of the 4. He always seems so big and majestic, and he's got a beautiful tall mane on the top, and then those eyes, those piercing eyes. Look how he's just watching us. You can see a little bit of light white striping underneath the eye that just helps to bring a bit of light in during the night, help them see a little bit better, which obviously last night came in handy because these guys, between them and the Nkuhumas, whoever it was, have had an absolute field day chasing these buffalo around. And it just goes to show how hard it is to be in a buffalo herd when there's lions about, because they just constantly are on your tail. And these buffalo were chased all night by the looks of things. They were chased from Sydney's dam, and then they were pushed all the way towards quarantine, where they were then another one was killed. So who knows where these buffalo are, but I can guarantee you that they're not going to be back on Djuma anytime soon. They've learned very quickly that this is not a safe place. Now we're going to just spend some more time around the Birminghams, hope that we can get a better view of Mfumo and Tinyo. And while we do that, let's go back to Byron, who continues his bird quest and has some feathered friends at Chitwa.